Hey, this is Notser, and we've got 2 user replays of the week. Chemical Reactionary is in the Tier 6 German cruiser, Nürnberg, on the map Faultline. But if you have a replay you would like to send, please send it to notserreplay@gmail.com. Please have the replay file, in-score screenshots, 1 to 2 sentence summary, and also include the ship name in the title of the email. That really helps me out. If you cannot produce an amazing game, maybe you can share an amazing moment. All you have to do for that is add the timestamp in the email so I can quickly navigate to it. And I do mean quickly. We get so many emails now, and I really appreciate it, but there's just no way to share every moment. If your replay was not selected this week, maybe next week. Thank you everyone for showing interest in my channel. So, Chemical Reactionary is sneaking up on this Cleveland. Yeah, sneaking. He's detected. He's going to try and get a good shot on the enemy Cleveland. You've noticed he's done some pretty good gunnery throughout the game. It just drags on. Long-range gunnery is not exactly the most enjoyable aspect of this game to view, so we skipped over much of the game. And he suggested it. Chemical Reactionary is definitely on board of skipping most of the game for this moment, because it's an amazing moment. Now, he's engaging this Cleveland. The Cleveland is not really doing a good job of avoiding the damage. He had a harsh angle for most of it, so Chemical Reactionary had to use HE. He softened it only at the very end, and why switch at this point? I believe his HE is actually going to burn him down, but he fires his front gun, does have line of sight, he takes out the Cleveland. Enemy destroyer has captured B, and we know it was the destroyer because the only non-destroyer on the enemy team is this battleship that is so healthy, way too healthy. It's very terrifying for the Kidov. So the Kidov's trying to escape. Chemical Reactionary is behind an island. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's trying to do a little bit of chip damage, and oh no! The Kidov, he has run aground. He's pulled a Notser in his moment of pure panic to get out of line of sight. He has doomed, yes, doomed his ship. And you just feel sick for the Kidov. He's trying so hard to get out. He just took the turn a little bit too tight. And now Chemical is all alone. 1 versus 3. And this is so terrifying. Enemy destroyer gladly shows himself. The Gnevny is a tier 5 Soviet destroyer, and his guns are fantastic. His torpedoes are awful. He would have to be within 4 kilometers for them to be effective, and the Fuso's firing on Chemical. Oh, great! The Nicholas is there too. So it appears that Chemical is doing the right thing. He's trying to focus down the easiest target, and it's the Gnevny. And he's doing a pretty good job. He's got HE loaded, which is what you want to fire against those destroyers. The Fuso is coming closer and closer and closer. He takes out the Gnevny, doesn't even watch him die. He just, oh man, the Fuso does a huge shot. Drops him down to 2200, and this is not good. He is within torpedo range, so he can make use of it, and he does angle himself, so his starboard side torpedoes can be sent against the enemy Fuso, and oh, here comes shots. Oh my god, so close to dying. The Fuso just has to land one. Wow, he's firing AP. Wow, he was able to absorb it. The torpedoes are going to take him out. He kills the Fuso. I don't know how he killed that Fuso without dying. That was an extremely tense moment. I bet you that Fuso captain is just kicking himself. He's pure rage. Ah, he fired AP and it didn't penetrate. Yeah, whenever the target has taken a significant amount of damage, that section of the ship takes a little bit less. And it was just a perfect scenario. A lot of ricochets, a couple misses. His secondaries did absolutely no damage. They did a total of 300 points of damage on him. If he would have swapped to HE, he would have killed him. But you just autopilot with AP as a battleship. Now, Chemical Reactionary captures the base. He still has to avoid contact with the Nicholas. And by the way, if the Nicholas would have aggressively pushed towards Chemical Reactionary, along with the Fuso, there's absolutely no way that Chemical would be alive right now. Because the Nicholas was so afraid of dying, he allowed the Fuso to fight him 1v1. Now, who would have thought the Fuso would have lost in a 1v1 against a 2,000 hit point Nürnberg? I certainly wouldn't have thought that. How did he manage to go 1v1 against the Fuso and come out alive? There's just a lot of luck there. But he did put himself in position to capitalize with his torpedoes. Now he's detected. The Nicholas should be firing right now. Why isn't the Nicholas firing? Nicholas, there's probably 10 seconds, if that, left in the match. You have to kill Chemical Reactionary or your team loses. And he does fire, but he's behind the island. He refuses to put his ship at risk. And they did it. Chemical Reactionary is able to win this game somehow. But that's not the only game. We've got the user isaiabt in the Tier 4 Premium Japanese battleship Ishizuchi on the map New Dawn. This is in 0.5.5, so it has the faster rate of fire. Isaiabt is supporting the friendly cruiser as they work their way to sea. Enemy cruiser shows up and initially was showing a perfect broadside, but he's headed north and he might head a little bit too close to the island, but no, it looks like he realizes that he doesn't want to run into the island and he's gone. See you later, Svetlana. But the enemy Phoenix is coming into range, and that's the biggest issue now. The rate of fire is great, but the range is terrible. You go up against Congos with 18-kilometer range. That's a long time where you cannot fire on them, but they can fire on you. Now an enemy Phoenix shows up, and he's unloading his guns. Isaiabt answers the call, and we'll see how well the shot is. It looks good. Oh, it's good. He one-shots him. Takes him down. Enemy Phoenix, see you later. Dream big, battleship captains. Dream big, because that makes it all worth it if you can one-shot a player. Now, of course, the player's like, oh, that's just bull. Well, it actually isn't. Angling is very important, and this is where you learn it, because you play ships like the Phoenix that have absolutely no armor. This Phoenix is making the same mistake as the one he just killed. He unloads everything and... oh, looky there, he got another devastating strike. His division mate's like, nice. Yeah, that's nice. He's just laughing. I would be laughing too, okay? In that moment, you could not have had a more perfect opportunity, and he was able to take full advantage of it. 2 kills and a lot of damage. He's probably already racked up 50,000 points of damage in 2 targets. They've successfully captured C. However, the enemy has 2 bases to their 1. So even though they have 2 kills on 2 Phoenixes, the enemy team will eventually catch up. They have to move in and try and take out some of these cruisers who are defending the B point. There are 3 destroyers. 3 of the destroyers decided, you know what, let's go for A and let's push on. Well, hopefully you can take out, well, not hopefully. Hopefully you don't take out, and they, of course, they take out the friendly South Carolina. You have to make full use of your assets, and whenever you overstack a side with destroyers, you have to just push. Isaiabt is going to try and engage the St. Louis, and it's not really going to be a good angled St. Louis. He's basically running away, but 9,800 points of damage, not bad at all. Very close to his max range, and that's pretty much the most you can expect in that situation. An enemy South Carolina is coming into focus, perfectly broadside. The guns are already ready to go. He leads the target, and he fires at the waterline. The South Carolina doesn't even understand the threat he's under. Oh, just barely too short. That South Carolina, his life should have flashed before his eyes. All of those shells landing absolutely right next to his ship. And this rate of fire is really good. You could not do this previously to 0.5.5. It had a much worse reload cycle. But now, you can feel pretty confident fighting in a 1v2. It's pretty rare that a battleship has this kind of rate of fire. And he lands a little bit of damage. I'm sure he would have liked more than 2,400 points of damage. The Kawachi is also in the area. He's trying to angle. Now, For those who don't know, this is sort of a prototype to the fast battleship that is the Congo. So it's alright. Its armor's alright. Isaiabt decides, you know what? Let's go for the Kawachi. The South Carolina is probably going to be dead, so he fires on the Kawachi, who's showing a perfect broadside. He does 6,800 points of damage. The Kawachi returns fire with HE for whatever reason. Because there's 2 fires, he puts the fires out, of course. And he's going to have a faster rate of fire than the Kawachi, so he's almost ready to go. This is just scary. It appears that Isaiabt is going to try and fire at the Svetlana. And the Svetlana is softening the angle, perfectly broadside, no citadel. 3,400 is good. The torpedoes probably were used by that enemy cruiser. Isaiabt is a little overextended in my opinion. He's going into the mouth of hell. He's on fire again, must wait on damage control cooldown. So he's going to burn for a while. He unloads a little bit for the, yep, those torpedoes. He unloaded a little bit the back guns on the Kawachi. He unloads the front guns on the Svetlana, and that's the sign of a player that understands you can maximize your damage capability if you juggle a couple targets. And oh, that looks good. Oh, it is good. Only 1 shell made contact, but it was for 8,000 points of damage. He's got 2 fires on his ship. This is not good. He's got the powerhouse that is the Avrora, the Soviet, or I guess it's the Russian cruiser at this point, the Imperial Russian Navy cruiser. But perfect broadside tries to finish off the Svetlana, and he takes him out with his secondaries. Got the target very low, and an enemy Karl's incoming. The Karl. This is just bad. Too many targets. He decides, okay. I need to be able to take this guy out. Maybe, oh, yep. The Soviet cruiser dropped their torpedoes, didn't get to the target. He decides, okay, I'll go after the Avrora. He citadels him, and I think he wants to ram. He wants to take the enemy Karl out of the match, but the Karl does not want the ram. And I forget, does the Karl have the torpedoes? If they have the torpedoes, I don't understand why he didn't use the torpedoes. If he doesn't have torpedoes, well, he is a madman. Why would you rush in right next to a battleship? Isaiabt is going to go after the Avrora. He fires at the waterline, and there you go. See you later, Avrora. Now the Karl. He's burning again. Damage control again is on cooldown, but so far, game's been great. Okay? He's been citadeling everything, and he's almost ready to go. You just could not do this previously to this patch. You would just be overwhelmed. Your rate of fire could not keep up. The torpedoes are about to hit the Karl. He hits the Karl. He takes the Karl out before the torpedoes take him out. Alright. Keel Stealer. The Ern's Kraken Unleashed. I'm sure the torpedo guy's like, are you kidding me? I sent the torpedoes. He was gonna die. His rate of fire allowed it. His guns were ready to go. I've done the exact same thing, and yeah, he didn't have a label on that ship, but he was gonna die of the torpedoes. However, this enemy St. Louis is still alive, trying to kill the hero. We can't let him kill the hero. And damage control comes up just in the nick of time. He puts it out. He's just trying to get in position to take the last enemy ship alive. Now, the St. Louis, he could earn Solo Warrior. It is on the table. But I doubt it very much. I don't think he's going to get it. In my entire career in World of Warships, I have probably had less than 10 opportunities to earn Solo Warrior. Isaiabt is going to use the speed that comes from being the prototype for the Congo. He's going to get around the island quickly before the St. Louis, who is basically a U.S. battleship slow cruiser. It's awful. Come on. Friendlies are trying to kill the St. Louis. He's almost around the island. Oh, this is tense. Who's going to get the kill? Oh, 900? 500? He gets an opportunity to fire his guns, and he takes out the St. Louis. Isaiabt earned Fireproof, Close Quarter Combat, Kraken Unleashed, 3 Devastating Strikes, High Caliber, Confederate, 6 kills, 10 Citadels, over 300,000 credits earned. He earned 1,747 base XP. His division mate is right there with him. Great game. He did around 111,000 points of damage in a tier 4 match. Just an amazing game. Thank you, Isaiabt, for sharing with the channel. This is just an amazing game. I wanted to see this ship in 0.5.5, and you delivered. And I thank you for that. I hope everyone enjoyed both of these games. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.